Hey everybody, we're back again with Big Brother, season 24, I believe. Yes, season 24. We're now on episode 2. All right. Last time we had Daniel, I believe, Daniel, the musician, winning HOH. Joey Puccinelli, Pooch, I think he goes by. He won the backstage boss advantage, which means he can't be voted out. Uh, he can't be nominated to be voted out, and he's safe for the week, but he can't vote. He can't play in any of the competitions. And he gets to choose 3 people to have backstage passes with him, but they're not as safe as he is, but they can't be nominated and they can't vote. All right. But they can possibly be evicted. I don't know how, but they can. So probably a twist along the way. The 3 people he chose was first. Okay. There we go. This should work. This should work. All right. He chose this lady right here, but she was the first one eliminated in the first competition. He chose her. I believe she takes bikini photos for TikTok or something. And this chubby lady right here, she is a hypnotist. He chose her because I believe she was one of the slowest one in the piercing competition. And the first one to drop from the other competition, the hanging one, she's not in frame, but she's blonde. Well, she dyed her hair blonde. She's not natural blonde. Can't seem to find an image of her. Where is she? Okay. No. Oh, the hypnotist's name is Brittany. I'm not going to remember that, but there it is. Her name is Brittany. No, that's not. And oh, the TikTok girl is an interior designer. Her name is Paloma. If anyone cares, that is her name. No, it's not going to work either. Oh, right. And there's a Brazilian girl. Well, girl, she's a grown woman now. I think she has a whole family, but apparently she's a flight attendant for private jets, and she's going to school to learn to be a sex therapist. Just be a porn star. I don't like what are you trying to achieve with life? How many people need coaching with sex? I think everyone is willing to practice. Like no one. I mean, I say that, but there's probably weirdos out there that require coaching. Okay. No, God damn it. I just can't get an image of this. There we go. All right. This should be the best I could get. All right. That's the 3 people selected for the backstage. And that's the blonde girl right here, chubby girl, and Paloma is over there. I already forgot chubby girl's name. I do remember she's a hypnotist, though. God, she looks crazy. All right. That is basically the lineup right now. Daniel is HOH, and Daniel wants to form an alliance, a final 2 alliance with the former cop, now personal chef, the lesbian. I think she's the only lesbian, but the sex therapist lady could also be going both ways. So who knows? There we go. And it is her. Daniel wants to form a final 2 with her right away because apparently they have the same hairstyle. They both look like lesbians. So I don't like the fact that Daniel is HOH because he seems like the kind of guy that'll just ruin the game for people because he'll target a lot of the bigger guys. I think last season there was another guy that did that freaking right away target a bunch of the bigger guys and just pretty much blew up the game where the ladies had most of the power and they're just taking out the guys one by one. Uh, and Daniel seemed like the kind of guy that would do something like that. But he is a super fan. So is he. Can't remember his name, but he's also, I think Michael. Yeah, his name is Michael. Uh, I think there's two lawyers. Michael is a lawyer, and this guy is a lawyer as well. All right, so that's two lawyers right there. This is the sex therapist lady. Yeah, that's it for them. All right, so most of the day they were pretty much they had to, I think the first decision that Michael got was he had to decide which four house guests is going to be have-nots. But as he was about to select, four people actually volunteered. One was Michael. Another one was this guy. So the two lawyers volunteered, and the other two was the other two big guys. Where are they? Right, no. The personal trainer was one. Can't remember his name. I think it's like Monty. Monty, yes, maybe. I don't know. I think Monty, and the other one was the Mormon dancing dude. Can't remember his name, but I'm sure he'll become important in the future. All right, so this is the have-not room that they're going to be sleeping in. All right, looks very comfortable in my opinion. Like you just sleep on these floaties. Like it's not a bad place to be actually. I mean, it might be a little uncomfortable, but you could sleep in that for like a week. Like that's fucking, that's golden. Oh, God, I hurt myself. And oh, there's, all right, there he is. This is the Mormon guy right there. He's a have-not. Well, he's a former Mormon. His family's still Mormon. I'm missing. Yeah, he's not. No. And you can see right away, Michael is solidifying his final two with his lesbian bestie right there. Still kind of annoyed that he's HOH, but hey, it is what it is. He just seems a little soy and beta. You know, it's like the kind of guy that is threatened by men that are stronger and bigger than him, and he's gonna go after them because of that, because he feels threatened, which is a terrible move in a game like this, because then if you remove everyone that's a bigger threat than you, you become the biggest threat. In a game like that, where people judge you off of appearances and based on who they think would be a bigger threat to them, the safest people are the ladies. The smaller women are the safest. And just the women in general, when there's men, they're the safest because the guys don't see them as a threat, but they see all of the guys as a threat. So it's a terrible idea to go after the guys right away if they're bigger than you. It's just not good gameplay. But he's a super fan and kind of beta, and he chose that former cop chef lady to be his number one, but I don't see that as a good idea. She wouldn't have good ties with the girls. As far as like girls bonding with each other, she wouldn't have good ties with them. So you can't use those numbers to your advantage. And she wouldn't have good ties with the guys. Like she wouldn't be able to manipulate them in the right way or go under the radar in the right way. They will actually take her seriously. because she would want them to take her seriously, and she would carry herself in a way that would demand that sort of respect. And when someone takes you seriously, they look at you a little bit more closely, and they scrutinize your moves a little bit more, which is not a good advantage when it comes to manipulating men. The reason that women can manipulate men and get past them is because the guys aren't focusing on them like that. So it seems like a disadvantage for women when it's hard for them to get respect, but it's actually a great advantage if you want to be overlooked and want to be able to manipulate people. But hey, that's his choice. That's how he chose to play the game. Whatever. I just don't want him to ruin the game, but it looks like he might. Then you have these two ladies. They bonded over the fact that they both wear their makeup in bed. And they also have, they're also chosen for the backstage sort of punishment, advantage sort of thing. They can't be nominated, but they can still get evicted. I'm not sure how, but they can. And yeah, so they bonded with each other, and they're starting to form a little final two there. So that's two final twos so far. Daniel and personal chef, and these two ladies, I believe one is, TikTok girl is an interior designer. The other one is a fashion secretary or something. She works in fashion. I don't know. So we have those two final twos so far. Right. And then we have this lady right here, former beauty queen, who decided to try to manipulate the guys by using her sexuality. So all the guys are right here playing pool, and she's there in her bikini playing pool. Taylor, personal stylist. Okay, so she decided to do that. That's her move. But while she was doing that, the girls were actually getting annoyed. And just like I suspected, she already has a terrible relationship with the other women because they feel threatened by her. It is not good in a game like this. She should have overemphasized girls and more focused on them, because she can always get to the guys later. It's so much easier to form a relationship with the guys. So she should have focused on the girls right away, but she didn't. And yeah, but she saw the guys as a bigger threat, and she wanted to get in with the guys. So it could be a little bit of what do you call it? Tunnel vision, a little bit, right? This here is Monty. He's the other guy that is on Slop. Yeah, so Taylor here has a little crush on Monty. And of course, Monty thinks she's attractive because, well, she is. All right, so that is the dynamic right now. And then we have Paloma, who's completely hating on Taylor. Paloma, who has the backstage punishment thing, and she's annoyed. Because she sees Taylor using her sexuality to manipulate the guys, and she's like, oh my God, she's using her sexuality to like manipulate the guys. That is such an old like tactic. I'm like, that's exactly the thing she would have done, but she's hating on someone else for doing it. The same girl that takes pictures in her bikini for TikTok somehow is hating on a girl for using her sexuality to manipulate men. These chicks, man. But Paloma, interestingly enough, is actually a really big game player. She decided to get the girls together and form an all-girls alliance. And you can see all the girls in this room right here to form the alliance. We have, I think this Paloma over here. This is the hypnotist girl. The blonde girl, she should be wearing that backstage shirt. I don't know why she ain't wearing it. That's part of their punishment, because she doesn't like to wear it. So that's the other chick, the blonde chick. And then this big girl right here. Don't remember her name. She's pretty though, but she's big. And then you got the sex therapist, flight attendant lady right here. And then this innocuous, nondescript lady. I can't even tell her ethnicity, to be honest with you, but she exists. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 girls forming the alliance. There's 2 girls missing. 16 people, 8 girls. So 2 girls are missing. Taylor is one of them, because Taylor is right now trying to influence the guys. And the Paloma already doesn't like her, so she's left out of the alliance. The other one that's missing is the personal chef and the lesbian, who's forming a final 2 with Daniel. She's also missing because she also didn't focus on the girls. So now they're left out of the all girls alliance, forming right behind their backs. Interestingly enough, the girls were talking about how they could manipulate the guys and how they'll never see it coming. And they're like, I've watched the show before, and girls need to stick together, and I don't understand why they don't work together and do. It's like, it's so obvious why girls don't work together. It's because they hate each other. They know they hate each other right away. They'll say all this nonsense into each other's faces, and the moment things don't go their way, they're just gonna betray each other. Like, they're gonna betray each other because unless some of the girls start winning back to back, they can't rely on each other. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna hang on to one of the guys that are winning, and that can actually protect them and use the guys as a shield. And when those guys target one of the girls, they're not going to protect them. Like, it always happens. That's why the girls never really work together, no matter how hard they try. Guys' alliances fail too, but they tend to last longer. So that alliance is forming behind everyone's back. So we have 3 alliances so far. We have the Daniel and the personal chef one. I think they call their alliance Rograts. It's stupid, but that's the name he decided on. Then we have another alliance between Paloma and Blonde Girl. They don't have a name for their alliance, but that's 2 final 2s. And then we have the 6 girls that is an all girls alliance. They call it the Girls. All right, so that's 3 alliances forming already. All right. So that is happening. Then Daniel is frustrated because he's a big super fan, and he wants people to come and actually talk to him, talk game to him, but most of them aren't doing it. But the Girls Alliance decided that they should do that because they want to manipulate the guys. So here we go. Nondescript lady decided to take the forefront, and she goes to talk to Daniel, and she throws out that the four guys that volunteered for slop was actually trying to protect themselves from going on the block. And Daniel was like, oh, I never thought of that. I was like, what? How did he not think of that? Why else would they volunteer? But now they're on his radar because they volunteered, which doesn't make sense. I already knew Daniel was going to do some beta soy stuff, and he's already doing it. Those guys aren't a threat to him. He's better off manipulating them because it would be easy. It would be so easy to manipulate them because you just got to promise them some sort of safety, and they won't see him as a threat, and they will want to work with him. And he already has his 2-person alliance, and then he could just use them, because if he plans to use them as a shield and he doesn't plan to put them up, he could just make it seem like he wants to ally with them and want to work with them and use that to ingratiate them to himself. And then he just has those numbers whenever he needs it for doing something that he was already going to do. But she puts a couple of words in his ears, and all of a sudden those guys are a threat to him. He's so freaking ridiculous already. Such a disappointment. Then we have Michael, the certified genius member of Mensa and a lawyer right here, strategizing game. He decided that instead of moving too quick with his game, and instead of talking game, he's going to listen. He's going to listen more. And this is how he starts, by listening. He just stands in the kitchen all awkward. I already knew he was going to be freaking awkward. Didn't I say he was going to be socially awkward? And he freaking is. He's just standing around, have no idea what to do. And then eventually, since no one was talking, because he was trying to listen, he eventually had to talk. So he talked to Michael. He started talking game to Michael. He started talking to game to Daniel. Sorry, Michael started talking game to Daniel, and Daniel was like, "Well, no one. If you want to speak game, my door is always open. You come up to the HOH room. Nobody's really coming up there. So if you want to come and talk, you come and talk." So that was the invitation. So Daniel finally decides to go up to the HOH room and talk. I mean, Michael decides to go up to the HOH room and talk game with Daniel. And it didn't go well. What he does is he's like, I'm a super fan of the game and I really don't want to go home first. I'm nervous about going home first. It would be so sad because I'm really excited about being here. And he didn't promise anything. He didn't say anything that would help. He was like, if you don't put me on the block now, if I ever win HOH, I'm not going to put you on the block, and just general stuff. And right away, Daniel doesn't like him. Daniel doesn't like him because Daniel is also a super fan, and Daniel knows, I didn't know this, but for some reason, there's a sort of a rule that the first person to go into the house usually goes out first or gets eliminated. I didn't know this. And Michael was in the same group as Daniel, and Michael was the first one towards the door to go in. And instead of going in, Michael held the door open for everyone else to go in, and Daniel saw that. And Daniel right away recognized that he couldn't trust Michael because Michael knows this game and he's a super fan and he's a big game player. So right away, he's on Daniel's radar just from the talk that he had, where he wasn't making very good promises, and his speech wasn't good enough. He didn't even promise to make an alliance or work together. He was just like, you keep me safe, I'll keep you safe, just general stuff. Just doesn't seem like someone that's trying to work with somebody else. They're just trying to stay out of each other's way. And it wasn't a good pitch, and he kind of screwed himself. Like I said, just the lack of social awareness just kind of screws people in games like this. Like I had high hopes for him because he's a genius, but I already knew his social inadequacy would hold him back. But it's unfortunate. But there you go. Then we have the old dude. Can't remember his name. I think his name is what is it? Like Kenneth Lewis, something like that. Terrence, old dude. Terrence, oldest guy in the house, 47 years old, DJ dude. He's talking to this chick over here, and he's telling her he's nervous because he feels like he's going to go up on the block because the head of household, Daniel, hasn't talked game to him or anything like that. And he's just nervous because they haven't talked game, that he might go up on the block. And the girl was thinking it. She was thinking it, but she didn't say it. She was thinking that he should go talk game to the guy if he's nervous about that. And I'm thinking the same thing. If you're nervous about something that you can fix, go do it. Go talk game to him. But he doesn't. He doesn't do any of that. He just sits around worrying about it. And I'm just flabbergasted by the way he's playing this game. I just don't know what he's doing. He's just there in the house, just sitting around. His thought process is that he wants to lay low. You're the oldest dude in the house. Your shirt is loud as hell. Like, how are you laying low dressed like this? Just loud, just very loud. And he wants to lay low. It's just like tension is already on you. You have to use that attention to sort of protect yourself. But instead, he's trying to lay low while all eyes are on him. It's just stupid, just extremely stupid. I can't believe this dude. Then Paloma decides to go to the HOH, and she wants she wants to throw Taylor under the bus because of her I don't know if it's jealousy or just she straight doesn't like her, but she wants to throw Taylor on the bus. So she talks to him about Taylor. And this is the thing I don't understand about Daniel. There was a lot of hints that there was an all-girls alliance. First, the innocuous chick, she talked to him and she said something, what was it that should have clued him in? She said, if you could put he was like, he's worried about putting up those strong guys on the block because he can bite him in the butt. And she said, don't worry about it. I got your back, and I can get the girls to also get your back. That should have been the clue that all those girls are working together. Completely went right over his head. Then the second clue was when he was talking to Paloma, and she was saying Taylor, that she doesn't know about Taylor. She doesn't really trust Taylor. And then she says Taylor is like not really part of the girls. She spends a lot of time with the guys, and she's not talking to any of the girls. And us girls, like, we talk and we, you know, we want to get along. And she says, Taylor is not really a girls. She's not really part of us girls, and is like, I don't really trust her. That should be a clue that those girls are working together, and Taylor is on the outside of that. But he doesn't pick up on it once again. Just ridiculous, man. I'm already annoyed with this guy. I'm disappointed. Hopefully his HOH just blows up in his face, because he's an idiot. Right. So it's time to nominate, and his two nominees end up being, hold on, where is it? Well, his two nominees end up being Terrence, the old dude, and Michael. Because, of course, they messed up. His reasoning, Terrence, his reasoning was that those two people didn't talk enough game to him, or didn't talk game to him at all. Which works for Terrence, because Terrence is his pawn, but it doesn't work for Michael, because Michael actually talked game to him, more game to him than a lot of people in the house. Most people didn't speak game to him at all. So see Michael right there. That's his two nominees. And Michael picked up on the fact that he was bullshitting, and Michael is now after him. Michael wants to win the veto and wants to go after him. So he pretty much made an enemy of the other super fan in the house for no reason. Like, I get it, you can't really trust Michael, but it wasn't a good idea to go after him right away, because you put him on the block. You give him a chance to win veto. I mean, he's a skinny dude, but he's smart and he's tall, which means as skinny as he is, he's still pretty strong. Like, he has a lanky body, but that means that there's more muscle there, distribution, regardless of how skinny he is. He can win stuff. It wasn't a good move, but he made it, and it might work out in his favor. We'll see. So until next time.